Hey, before we get into the episode, I want to talk about the Detective of the Ark. I want to see who's going up on the wall of detectives. We got a lot of submissions for this one, and they were all really good. I think across the board, everybody either was very close to the real answer, or if they had an alternative, they were very clear with the evidence that they had to back it up. I read a lot of really good theories. We had some great theories about trying to justify Amias's suicide with some really fun evidence backing that up. A lot of people who had various ideas of who Carolyn was trying to cover for, if she was covering for people. Some people getting really early with the accounts of her testimony on the stand that she must have been covering for someone faster than I did. So good work across the board. Everybody did really well. One special shout out before we get to the actual Wall of Detectives. One special shout out to Eve on the Discord, who pretty much had a perfect solution, but never submitted it in writing, and so it doesn't count. I wasn't there to witness it. It was said privately to Dani in a voice chat. But we would like to give Detective of the Ark the Wall of Detectives position to Deanne Simpson, who had a fantastic guess of exactly what happened, but really nicely came in near the end with details about the exact time that Elsa saw Carolyn take the poison, and that when Meredith didn't know it was happening, but he was talking with Elsa must have been in the opposite position, so from her side, she definitely would have been able to see Carolyn taking it. It was an element of this mystery that I don't know has actually been covered at all, and we might only cover in this autopsy, and Deanne found it, and I thought it was really, really lovely. So congratulations, Deanne Simpson. You're on the Wall of Detectives. All right. Thank you to everybody who submitted. If I haven't responded yet to your email, I will. I've read through them all. That I haven't necessarily emailed back to everybody. But hey, congratulations, Deanne, and let's get on with the autopsy. Welcome to Solve This Murder. I am your coroner, Bill.
And I am your mortuary assistant, Dani.
I did it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Elsa is in prison. She's in prison. I get to decide the outcomes, and she's in jail. I don't mind.
You never even officially reopened the case, so nothing really could happen. This was very much a case, just like whenever we write one, where the entire time I'm reading this book, I knew the answer. I've read the story so many times, and just going, this is obvious. It is staring you in the face. You're going to solve this in the first 20 minutes. And I gotta be honest, you'll be listening back to these edits and know how many times you basically did. You didn't know what you were solving, but so many times, and then even off audio, you would say things to me like that.
Like what? What did I say?
You said, mate, he wasn't going to leave his wife.
He was never going to leave his wife.
It was Elsa. She did it because she wanted to get revenge for him not leaving his wife. You pretty much said that to me.
Well.
Day one.
I guess I'm the greatest detective
it's fascinating.
ever made. It's such an interesting one because that does have that element of like, why did she do it?
Mm-hmm.
If she loved him, why do it? She's so distraught over his death. That's just because she's a young dummy. She was so overcome with this, like, it's the same reason that all of the assassins are 20 years old.
Exactly. That is exactly what it is. Everyone kept like saying, no, she was an adult or she was a child, and forgetting what that means and why that's such an important age.
It's like that cusp, like, that's prime assassination. It's prime, like, I feel everything so much that I must just kill him. I love him so much, I'll kill him. I've killed people so much, I love them. That sort of a feeling. Like, there's that inherent, like, when you think about motives, it's not about, like, the logic of a motive. Because logically, you probably don't need to kill many people in your life, so you probably won't, right? It isn't a hard... It's not the logic... It's weird. It's not cold and calculated, which poison implies, but it is big and menacing, but not violent. It is still this, like, it's a crime of passion, but a smoldering passion that can still lead to poison. It can still lead to, I'll get you with this. I'll watch. I'll have this happen. I'll see. You know, like, and also, it's poetic.
Romeo drank poison.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's
not
like,
that she would know that, but
she's never read the classics. Yeah, what a sad group of people.
Yeah.
Ah.
Great fun. I so interesting character-wise. I tried to keep as much true to it as possible. There were elements that I was going to scrap, like all of the whole, Philip being in love with Carolyn, Meredith being in love with Elsa by the end, a thing that has no bearing on the book whatsoever, but that is the conclusion that Poirot comes to. Not at all the conclusion that I really came to for the entirety of the book. Until that moment I was going, oh, this poor solitary gay man who is just trying to do right by his women friends. And Cecilia very much gave off lesbian vibes, and like Angela gave off the most asexual vibes ever. It felt like it could have been, in a later time, a really mishmash inclusive book.
Yeah.
With really intense emotions going on behind it as well. I wasn't sure how much of that to keep in. I kept it all in because in the end it didn't feel like it was going to get too much in the way of the main mystery. And again, I was so worried that you were going to solve it really fast.
But also you want these other things because they are like this, like the sifting through of the things that don't matter is as important as engaging with the things that do matter.
It's difficult to find a balance with that because, like we always say, when it comes to escape rooms, people make their own red herrings. In murder mysteries, it's much more likely that the story will have their own, but it's still, when something turns out to be nothing related to the murder mystery, it's always still a little bit disappointing. You want it to be relevant in some way.
Yeah. I think you did really well the whole way of like presenting these characters in ways that I could engage with their motives because I felt like I knew something about them. Like, I kind of discounted any idea of Meredith killing because of Caroline or killing because of Elsa, not based on the facts of not based on the fact of his existence, but kind of once I met him, I was like, this guy wouldn't do that.
I thought that
you did that really well.
I thought that was really interesting because I felt like I was being really genuine with these characters to how they're portrayed in the books in that way, and I just felt every time it was one of the innocent people, I went, you're going to know that they're innocent because it's going to feel innocent, which whenever we're watching whodunits on TV, I always complain that the actors who are playing the murderers never quite know what to do. They can't quite pitch the they're always a little bit too innocent feeling or a little bit too guilty feeling, and they can't strike the balance of a guilty person who is pretending really hard to be innocent.
And this is, I think, why in so many murder mysteries you give innocent people things they want to hide anyway. So they'll act guilty and they'll act shifty and they'll be like, I don't want to tell you where I was on that night, so that you can spread that out.
And these ones didn't really have that, but I suppose you also got the element of it was 16 years ago. Everyone is going to have a weird disconnected relationship with 16 years ago. So no one is going to be in a panic and trying to come up with bad lies on the spot or anything like that. Everything is very certain.
Yeah.
So, and it also helps with this one that Elsa is the frank, vindictive, kind of despicable one. So if she's like that in the present, you don't consider that a sign of guilt. That is a sign of her. Even if other people, by comparison, feel quite innocent.
The thing of her basically just destroying her own existence and to be like, it's because she's mourning the loss of this man and never got over it. It's like, she's mourning the loss of him while also having done it. She lost him. Didn't happen incidentally. She did it. And she just sort of broke her entire soul through it.
Furious. She lashed out. She killed him. That didn't help. She framed Carolyn. She wanted to kill Carolyn for this because it was her fault, really.
And then she was just left
She didn't even get Carolyn hanged. Yeah. She didn't even get Carolyn in jail for life. Carolyn got a peaceful, content way out.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then she's just living in this shell of like broken love and rage for 16 years. Like, and it makes you not suspect her because she's so negatively impacted by the whole thing. It's like, well, she wouldn't do it. Again, logically, you wouldn't do this to yourself if these are your emotions, but you don't know your emotions.
And that's what was...
Unless you're me.
It really was fascinating watching these things, like knowing from the start, you had floated this idea of, maybe Amias wasn't going to leave Carolyn, so Elsa does have a reason to be vindictive, and how quickly you left that. When you saw that Elsa was broken by everything, you went completely off it. And everyone then was saying, well, Elsa's got no reason to do this. That's outrageous. And you went, yep, totally fair. You wrote her off.
I did. I wrote her off completely.
That's why I loved in the last episode, it felt like a real genuine realization when you said they weren't talking about Angela, getting rid of Angela.
Yeah.
They were talking about getting rid of you. And that was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
that's exactly what does it in the book, generally.
I knew there'd be an overheard piece of thing that people assume applies to one thing, that when you reinterpret it, applies to someone else.
Yep.
I knew it. I was looking for it the whole time, and I finally found the line.
The weird part to me in the book, the one thing that I could never quite, what's the word? I always forget this word. Make work.
Not rectify.
Reconcile.
Reconcile.
This jacket thing is never explained.
That she went to get the jacket?
Twice. Yes.
Yeah,
They were saying, Amaya said, let's go paint. She said, yeah, just a second, I'll go get a jacket. And apparently comes out with no jacket and no one's surprised because she's stolen a poison that time. And then later, like an hour later, goes to get a jacket. The fact that she double jackets does not get explicitly mentioned.
Okay, I'd interpreted she'd got the jacket then and she was trying to keep me from knowing about that she overheard the argument.
No, the later one seemed to be a real go and get a jacket. It's also a little weird.
Can we talk a little bit now? Because the one thing I'm still, like, Carolyn just took the poison to kill herself? Is this the idea?
Seemingly, yes. It seemed like it was a spur of the moment. It may have been one of those sort of her kind of artistic temper flair as well. But there is it could have gone either way. It is not explicitly said. The book, I would say, implies that she was legitimately concerned and then thought about killing herself. And like she after dinner and everything, shut herself up in her room, and Amias didn't get a chance to talk to her until the next morning in the library.
Sure.
So it might have been sincere, but it also could well have been.
I mean, it feels to me
a crazy flair.
Yeah, the way I kind of like to think of it, it feels like everyone's like, oh, Amias was this brash, violent, hugely passionate, flying off the handle guy, and Carolyn dealt with it. And it's no, so was Carolyn.
It said that she gave as good as she got.
Yeah, she was big, she was wild, she was great. Like, and as Angela pointed out, like, she went straight to, okay, I'll never do physical violence again because I did it once and it ruined a person and me. But to get over that, I will go as violent as I can in my words, my imagery, my existence. Like, I will get, and the idea of her just being like, okay, you're going to leave me. Here's the poison. I'm going to drink this. 10 minutes from now, this is going in. I'm going to be dead.
You heard that Socrates story. You want to deal with me screaming?
Right? Like, yeah, bring it up. Bring this.
It could have been.
Especially because of that. She knew that it was this terrible, painful thing. You don't take that because of sadness. You take that because of drama. I think that's the Socrates story as well. They were like, Socrates, they were like, you can either leave forever or technically you could take some poison. But obviously we want you to leave. And he went, oh, you want me to leave? Nah. I'm taking the poison. You have to watch me die in front of you painfully. No, Socrates, you can just leave. We can just exile you. No. I'm going to drink the poison. You're doing this to me. Why don't you watch me die? Like,
well, yeah, even though it's not explicitly stated in the book, it could
feels
very
dramatic.
well be that that's what
like
Agatha Christie was going for by using that as the reference point.
Like, I'm going to drink this, you dummy. And it's your fault. And he went, and then he had to be like, no, I'm just... And is that the idea that it was just him stringing her along to get the painting done? All he cared about was the painting?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
He was definitely obsessive about her, but he always said the best of him was in his work. He sent her away because he was a bit too obsessed with her and couldn't get the painting done. All he cared about was the painting. That was what everyone knew all along. Everyone kept saying it. They just didn't realize the full implications of that. And exactly how far he would go. And that's why he kept telling Elsa, shut up, don't talk about this, we're running off together business.
Oh, yeah, because it was all a lie anyway.
When she brought it up in front of everybody, he just went, yeah, okay, true enough, whatever, and then left.
Yeah, because he couldn't say no because he needed to finish the painting. Tortured artists. It's like I don't know if anyone knows. I'm just announcing it now. I don't love Dani at all, but I really want to get this episode
really
finished.
like Solve This Murder.
I really want to get to the end of Solve This Murder. I got a couple other films planned out, and as soon as that's done, don't tell her. But that'll be the end of everything. Hey, Dani. Oh, I saw you here. Oh no. It's a harsh and a tough one, but it's a good reminder that Agatha Christie is a good writer.
There is something about this one that clearly stuck with me because I read this for the first time, I want to say in 2011, early 2011, I think. I have surprisingly distinct memories of this.
Dani, that was 16 years ago. It wasn't.
It was 14 years ago.
I know, but come on.
And ever since then, I don't know if I read that one.
You should have done this without reading the book again. And it could have been your cold case. And I could have literally just asked you questions about what happened in the book to see if you remembered them.
Here's the problem.
You remembered it perfectly?
No, I remembered the crime perfectly. I remembered that it was an artist having an affair with Elsa Greer, and that Elsa Greer did it because the affair wasn't real in the end. And
it's just a
just
really good elevator pitch.
Just
like
think that
shtick.
For 14 years, I remembered the name Elsa Greer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I think that that's really special.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, look, we released the teaser. We're recording this after release of the teaser. And we got a few responses from people just being like, I'm so excited. I love Five Little Pigs. It's one of my favorite. Like, it's like my favorite murder mystery. I'm really excited about it. And I get it.
Nice.
I think it's a really fantastic cast of characters. It's also a classic, like, it revels in what feels like the point of Poirot, right? It goes, hey, physical evidence, get out of here. I mean, other than a couple major things, like, following someone around, sniffing out the crime scene. Oh, they might kill again. No. Get all of that Holmesian stuff and put it to the side. And let's go Poirot. Let's go. Tell me the facts. You come here. You tell me what you remember. And I'm going to think. And I'm going to think about the people. And I think about the why and the how and the when and what's going on and the psychology of it.
Not only that.
And I really like that. It really doubles down into the point, I feel, of what makes Poirot Poirot.
Not only that, it has an extra thing that I find really wonderful about murder mysteries, which is when you have to go through, you start taking people at face value, and then you have to reconsider every fact that you have, even the most basic of fundamental facts to the case, and say, why do I know this? Whose testimony am I believing for this?
Yes.
And everyone believed that the affair was real, but the only person who outright said, I heard Amaya saying, Carolyn, I am going to divorce you and marry Elsa, was Elsa. Right at the beginning.
True. Yeah, I had it written that 2 witnesses said that, but it was just her.
Yeah, 2 witnesses said that they had heard the argument. Philip barely heard the argument.
Yeah.
He didn't hear an important part of it.
No.
It was all Elsa's testimony for that.
It was, because that was when I interviewed the pigs, that was the only one. Can we talk about pigs? Why is it 5 little pigs? It feels like a real stretch and has no bearing. Is it just that had she already done, like, and then there were none, and people were like, we need more of these nursery rhyme books. That's not much good, whatever.
She loves all of the
Hickory Dickory
little story.
Dock.
Exactly. And
5 little pigs, then there were none.
crime things have been taking that for decades since Christie
true.
as well. Like any crime thriller from nowadays tends to use that sort of thing as its shtick title. You can come up with that. Like, you think that there's not a Lee Child's book called Row Your Boat?
Yeah, true.
It definitely is.
There's a book called H is for Humpty Dumpty. I can't remember who wrote all those. Yeah, all right.
And I absolutely love that, having to reevaluate your most fundamental understanding of the facts of the case. Agatha Christie is a master of that in so many of them.
That is the classic
That's what makes me happiest.
murder mystery thing. This idea, like, it's a really cool, and it's a hard thing to get because some people might just interpret it correctly the first time, but it's really nice.
And that's very frightening when it comes to a situation like this. Like we're trying to make these last for, a couple of hours, and for a book, well, the detective can reveal it whenever they want to, right at the end.
Yeah, that control of information.
You can just keep probing if you want to, right at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't have to give up. I don't have to rethink and come back later. I can just ask and ask and ask and ask and drill down and drill down and drill down.
Well, who can corroborate that? Does anyone have evidence of this? What if it was fake? What would that mean?
Yeah.
You could be doing that right from the start.
It's a very interesting thing. It's hard. And it is hard when we're making these. Like, this is the fundamental thing that makes this show what it is, and that no one else or very few other people do. Some people do. There's other go check out Aurelius Whitlock for a similar style of show if you like. But the thing that makes it so hard is this feeling of like of that lack of control, and still making the story work.
Especially, I would say for this one, I was extra worried. I had no idea how this was going to go because it's a cold case. I even considered making it not a cold case and adapting the whole thing, but then I feel like that just didn't feel like it was going to work.
No, I liked it being a cold case. I thought it was nice.
The entire thing has a full police report of events, and I have that written here. And you can see, and again, I was terrified of what would happen if we included this. Like, take a look at how extensive this police report. This is essentially the start of the book. This is where Poirot begins. He asks the lawyers about how court went, and then he gets given this full police report, which is about a full Google Doc page and a half long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read out the whole thing.
No.
But yeah, like, suddenly suspicious death. Here's the grounds. Here are the last people to see him alive. They went to lunch together. After lunch, this happened. Here are the people who accompanied them. Here's when they separated. They ran to the house. Meredith Blake, come back. Here's Philip's statement. Meredith had called him, saying the bottle would be empty. Here's what happened the afternoon the day before the murder. They went to the lab. Let's talk about Conine. Let's talk about the battery garden. Here's 11:15 a.m. There's no fridge in the garden. Oh, yeah, that's so much info.
Extensive. And then
there's quotes.
They gave all this as, well, here were the facts that everybody agreed upon at the time.
Oh,
and then the rest of the book was largely rehashing these things and confirming, and you kept finding that.
I did find it was a lot of rehashing and confirming. It was just, give me some new angle, give me something, give me some new tweak. And they're like, no tweaks for me.
So much of it was just feeling different emotions from them rather than different facts.
Yes, as I said before, it's like I could start to color the facts with the people as I knew them. As I started to know the person, I was like, let me reassess what I thought about these facts, because Meredith wouldn't do that. Philip might do that. Oh, Angela's not that kind of person. Who's Amanda? All this sort of stuff. It was really interesting. It was really fun, but I was so worried. I did not know it, but I got it in the end.
I think that these denouements of half-formed and then a realization partway through the denouement of, because you were doing this. That moment is quite special.
Yeah, it's a tense thing, even though the audience is, I mean, look, you audience are real, but even though my denouement audience is fake, it's 5 NPCs all being voiced by you. It still feels like I'm on the spot and I have to seem cool in front of them. You know?
I get that. It's terrifying.
And it's like, no, I got to be slick and cool in front of these cool NPCs. And it's weird. It's a weird amount of stress. But it's good to be able to do it in the moment, because otherwise you do it and then what, you do the denouement afterwards, you come back and
exactly.
You say it. It's not as interesting.
And you were starting to do that, you were piecing things together, and I just went, well, we're at a denouement time. Let's get into this.
Yeah, and I remember I did the same thing to you in Furtive Fiend, and you were like...
we have to trust each other.
Yeah, you just went, I'm not going to... I was like, no, you've got everything you need. You can do this. Go start the denouement.
I do like it. Like, if we were different people and had a different relationship with one another, that would be a lot harder to guarantee we were doing it right.
But I know what you can do with your brain.
We can have an awful lot of trust in each other.
It works that way. It's an interesting...
It's like, if I liked improv, we could be improv partners.
True. Yeah, it was a good mystery. I think we've covered everything. I don't think there's a huge amount to, like, dissect much after this. I had a worry for a second. At one point, I was like, I want to start suspecting Cecilia because I discounted her. And then I went, there's a part of the back of my brain that remembers Poirot going back to an old woman about a cold case and her being like, that's right, you figured out that I did do it. And it felt like... But I think that's a different book.
Ooh, which one is that?
Is that Big Four or
no, I don't think so.
It's some other... Elephants can... No, I don't know. I feel there's some other moment where that happens.
And it's definitely not that one. I just read that one, which is another cold case one. Don't like that one as much as this.
No. So I had no idea what's going on with that. And I worried for a second, like, have I read this? But it's like, obviously not, because Cecilia didn't do it, so that's great.
I really wanted to make sure that you hadn't read this one. I had to make so sure, because of how vividly the name Elsa Greer stuck with me, that I was very concerned that even if you'd read it over a decade ago,
just come back
the name would stick.
No, it worked out really well. It was a really fun experience. Getting through it. I suspect there were people who got it quite early. I'm not sure. Obviously, at the start of the episode, I've already done the Detective of the Ark, but I don't know at the time of recording.
And obviously, there'll be people who just know the book and are
That's
following
true
how you've
as
done
well,
that.
yeah. I hope you're not just knowing the book and then pretending, I think actually that this thing happened. Oh, sure.
That'd be pretty wild.
Do you really want to get on the wall of detectives that much? It's just a page. It's just HTML.
Great work, of course, how quickly you got she was protecting Angela.
Oh,
because you got that extremely early.
Because it was just one of these facts. Like, I know the poison wasn't there. Why did she do that? She's innocent. And that was nice. Being able to have in my pocket wonderful. I have, to myself, proved Carolyn didn't do it. I knew,
that
obviously.
was Poirot's ironclad proof.
And it's a great
that she
piece of
didn't do
ironclad
it.
proof.
Mm.
That's a good piece of proof. That's fantastic proof. I love that from a murder mystery perspective. Because it's so rock solid without really elucidating much about what actually happened.
And you knew that from the beginning. Like, when you were talking to the lawyers, you said, well, this was stupid of you.
Yeah, I said, whoever put these prints on, they didn't do it. And then when I found out that she put the prints on, I was like, great, she didn't do it. I've written that note down. It wasn't her.
And the book definitely doesn't reveal that early.
No, but I love revealing it. Sorry, people, if I ruined it compared to a narrator of a book. But,
and then you immediately started going to, well, why would she do that if it was on purpose?
And then,
who is she protecting?
And obviously
she's got a sister.
Protecting her sister.
So you leapt on it.
And I just like that. And that's the other thing that's interesting about this process is it's it's hard to control the narrative. We have all these interesting problems with not problems, but no problems. We just solve them. We have these interesting issues of how to control information, how to control the flow of something when you are not in charge of the flow, that someone else takes the reins and says, deal with it, and needing to make something compelling out of that. That's always tough.
Where that ended up going was in the book. And this all comes out largely at the end. Angela doesn't have any moment of, oh, did I do it? Could I have had something to do with this? Really? And we sort of introduced that and you got back onto maybe she did it by accident.
Yeah, which I loved. I thought that could have been true. I really thought it was fun. I really liked that. But the other thing that we get with this format is other than the very fun occasional little bits, like we did one for Furtive Fiend, we did one for Hairdresser Homicide. I think these are the only 2 times we've done it. Cutting out
little tricksy
something
things
that I was doing, but which I probably wouldn't do again, because what I was going to say is, I'd probably do the Furtive Fiend version, maybe not the Hairdresser Homicide one, because that got some actual information that was hidden from the audience. Because in general, everything we think and everything that we're coming up with while we investigate, we can't not reveal that, and the audience is really actually, more than I think almost any other murder mystery format, properly following exactly what the detective is thinking. We're not jumping out. We're not having some hidden knowledge that we don't share with you. It's like, if I think it, I say it, and you hear me have that realization. I'm thinking out loud to you as an audience, and so there's an earnestness in that we all get to experience it together in a way that feels quite nice. I think. I hope. But yeah, I didn't like Poirot, hear that, and then I can say in the end of the book, I always knew this because of this thing from the start. It's no, you knew it when I knew it. We played together and we investigated together in more
using Poirot-style brains, but a Hastings-style delivery.
Yeah. How dare you?
In that the whole point of the Hastings character is to give open thought.
Yes,
that's why Poirot keeps him around.
And I'm giving the open thought while I'm also trying to solve it. And I like that. I like that relationship that we have. That it's not, as I said before, it's not you and me against the listener. It's me and the listener against you. Or you and the listener against me. There's one person with the information, but there's half of the show is as blind as the audience. And that doesn't happen in murder mysteries. In murder mysteries, the author knows. Day one, even when the detective doesn't know, the author knows. And then when the detective knows, the author keeps it from you. And the detective keeps it from you. And everyone in the book is all on one team and you are the reader. But I'm the reader for this. I'm the writer, but I'm the reader. And when you play, you're the writer and the reader. And so you are fundamentally on the same team. You're more empowered than the listeners, but you are on their team. You are there together. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and like any Dungeons and Dragons podcast, you've got the two things to consider. You're making a mystery and you're making a podcast. And trying to balance those things out, especially in this one, because trying to find where episodes end, I was concerned about with this one, because you want every episode to have interesting stuff and a compelling ending that's gonna titillate people into coming back. This is a cold case. Everyone's just talking. This is 5 people talking at you.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah, nothing happens. There's no second murder. There's no
well
thing.
done for keeping them feeling like compelling conversations.
I don't think that was on me. That was a joint effort between you and me and the listener. You didn't help at all, listener. I didn't hear you at all. You weren't helping. You were just listening. It's me and Dani against you every time.
In general, picking this one, I picked it because I love the story and I love the way the sort of evidence and the personalities come together. But for Solve This Murder, I was definitely concerned that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it took us recording 2 episodes before we were happy to sort of say that we were going to do it in any kind of context, because it's always a risk that you do one of these. And it may well happen one day that we write an entire murder mystery. We write the luscious leopard, whatever we need for L, and then it
doesn't feel right,
and then it doesn't work, right? It's like a one episode
it was the
solved
wrong mystery for the show.
It's the thing that gets solved early on is meant to be something that happens later, and then the rest of it is just confirming it. Yep. All right, great. Like, there's always a chance that happens and that we throw the whole thing out, and we free up that letter of the alphabet again. We come back later, and this could have been one of those moments. Could have been that a cold case like this doesn't work. It could be in episode 1. I went, you know what? I reckon he didn't want to leave his wife. He wanted to be with Elsa.
Which you did.
But I could have believed it, you know? Or I could have gone immediately to a person who could have given me the next step and the key to that.
Yes.
You know? And so, yeah, there's always a chance it's not going to work. All of these have a chance they're not going to work. We're always playing with there's no guarantee on any of these. It's impossible to get to. So we're always playing with something that at any point could get thrown out completely. In fact, we as I said before, we're recording this after releasing the teaser. That's already a huge risk. That was us doubling down on, you know what, 2 episodes went well. Worst case scenario was like a 3-episode thing.
I certainly didn't expect it.
But it was big. It was a full one.
What, 7, 8 episodes?
8 episodes and an autopsy, I think.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it happens, you know.
And I'm glad that it did, because it's a full book. It's good that we get a full book's worth of content.
We've done other Agatha Christie adaptations. We've done some books. We've done Murder on the Links. We've done Mysterious Affair.
It's usually the short stories last 2 episodes and the books last several.
Yeah.
And great. That shows that it's working.
Yeah, exactly. The pacing's in. It's so interesting that we mimic that pacing without control of the narrative as much, without that full understanding of like what the investigation's going to be. There is something inherent in the amount of information that is always true. It's going to take that long. They get more complex as they get longer.
And I'm sure that's going to be something, that's why they're going to be a good resource, because she was such a prolific author that I'm sure there's going to be some amount of formulaicness to a lot of them. And
so if one works, they all work.
Formulas work.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for going through and putting it all together.
Thank you for being so good at it. I'm sorry about my voices and forgetting what voices were.
Dani did every single time a character was introduced. Dani turned to me and just went, "I have no memory of how they sound, but they're probably something like this." So yeah, look, it was great. It was great. I hope you enjoyed listening to it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed following along, and I think people will have gotten this early because I sort of said. I think someone will double down on things that I may have said, or may have picked up on some of these things and caught these words early. But I might be wrong. It may well be that the Detective of the Ark didn't get the proper guest till episode 7. Who knows? But I hope you all enjoyed listening, and I hope you all enjoyed. Another fun mystery. After this, we should be back to an original mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I have not written it. I know what it is. I know the idea. I've got the conceit. I have some of the characters. I know, but I need to spend some time getting it down and writing it out.
I mean, it's been like 9 weeks since since we recorded this to the time that this episode comes out.
I'll be
assuming
done.
You're not
By the time it's out, I'm done.
Assuming you're not listening to this on Patreon, then yeah, you might well be done.
Yeah, but there's also there's going to be we're going to be having a holiday sometime in that
True,
period. So who the heck knows?
That's what plane trips are for.
No, I'm not working on a holiday. Who do you think I am?
Someone with a real visa.
Yeah, I can't work on the trip. They'll deport me. But yeah, so that should be coming next. Another fun original mystery Dani will play.
I can't wait.
I think it's going to be an enjoyable one. I'm excited by the concept that I've come up with. So I think you'll enjoy. I think you'll have a lot of fun. And I will tease it here. I've teased it to other places. There is a returning character.
Ooh.
There is a character coming back for a mystery who has been in one of our mysteries already. And
that's fun.
And it's not just Simba. And it's not a random police officer who's doing a bit.
It's not Lieutenant Cool or whatever his name was.
It's not Joey Cool. It's not Mr. Sledgehammer Hands.
Well, that's
so just a fun little teaser. Maybe you can guess who it is. I've given you information.
I think from some of the mysteries that you mentioned while we were doing this one as references to give to Meredith Blake, I can probably rule some out because ones that you didn't remember.
What didn't I remember?
Well, you didn't remember what drowning at the dinner party was.
I remember there was an elevator.
Can I say, there is a specific note for Meredith Blake that says, it will be more open and helpful if you name drop. So well done.
I did it.
I named
a rich guy.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I know we've mentioned it a few times. We mentioned a little bit more on the show than we used to. We don't run ads on this show, on either of our shows. If you haven't checked out Escape This Podcast, go and check out Escape This Podcast. It's the other show that we do. It's sort of our original show that this was effectively a spin-off of in some form, where we do escape rooms. But we don't run ads on our shows. I don't like them. I don't like that element of
the art
show, of art creation. So what we are in a phenomenally blessed position that we're supported through patrons, through donations, through people who like the art that we make and they want it to be free and they want more people to be able to listen to it, and so they donate to us to keep it going. It's what keeps the shows running. It's what allows us to make them. It's what keeps us.
Yeah, without that,
that's our income. Like,
we couldn't do this.
We couldn't do it. We would have to go and get different jobs. So, thank you for everyone who does support us there. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff for people who support us there. There's the capacity to appear as NPCs in Solve This Murder or in Escape This Podcast. There's weekly bonus episodes for everybody who donates at $5 a month. You get a new, basically there's a whole new podcast every week. It's us doing puzzles and things. It's us solving murder mysteries, a whole bunch of fun stuff. As I've mentioned before, and you'll already know this, if you're a subscriber to the $5 Patreon, you get the whole mystery free when we release, all at once when we release a new Solve This Murder. So you get all the parts day one, and you can binge the whole thing if that's the kind of life that you live. There's more stuff. There's things for our $10 donors. By this point, there may well, it should be, there was a whole new weekly? I don't know exactly. There's a whole new show for our $10 donors. Which is, it's a whole new project. So if I've announced that somewhere, you'll know the details. I won't say them yet. But there's just fun stuff. None of it is the core thing. The core thing is the free stuff that you're listening to. Solve This Murder, Escape This Podcast. This is what everything else is fun. It's gravy. It's extra stuff on top.
And we know that usually the other stuff like Escape This Podcast and our other projects have taken a lot of our focus. This year, we want to do so much.
This is the year of murder. We're having a lot of fun with it. But thank you everybody for supporting us there. Everyone, it's incredibly valuable to us and to all the other people who are listening. If you listen to this show for free, you are only listening to it because there are donors who are putting money towards making sure it happens. So you're as in their debt as we are. So thank you so much to everybody who supports us there.
Thank you. Really, incredibly sincerely.
Go and have a lovely day, and I hope you don't kill your lover in the throes of passion. Like, come on, that's crazy. You're going to ruin your life, and you're going to have to marry Didisham.
So many lessons.
Didisham's an idiot. Thank you for listening to Solve This Murder. To support the show, you can sign up for our Patreon and receive weekly bonus episodes, monthly videos, and full access to all parts of new Solve This Murder mysteries on day one. Thanks to all our patrons for supporting us, thanks to Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for our theme music, and thanks again to all of you for listening.